Okay. Thanks for the great opportunity and the privilege of putting together the proposal and putting together this nice little vision of working together. This is really a project map. Getting to know each other while envisioning a course forward, we were asked to really introduce ourselves and give a sense for how we're involved in the project, as well as giving a real vision of plotting the course forward to the horizon of a site well made and the parts along the way. So here's what to expect. We'll do a little bit about what to avoid where a team without this experience and foresight might run into some issues. And meanwhile, there's us with some guiding principles that are looking for success in the moment as well as down the road. And meeting the team and getting a sense for how we're involved in things. We'll take a look at some of our tools and the method. So with the one-time build and then the ongoing plan, the two parts of the plan are the ongoing roadmap and the sessions and how those fit together. So we'll take that and a quick recap on the plan tiers, and then we'll take a look at an example. For instance, an example of how we'd approach a site care plan. And going through that, month 1, month 2, month 3, we'll see the resulting awesomeness and see the vision for an extraordinary site that speaks to your needs and also takes things further for a bright future. So with that, let's take a look. And a little word of caution. Caution's not the word. A word of insight is that we will absolutely have an extremely effective and research-based design for the site itself. For this, we got fun. Hope you don't mind fun. And with that, let's take a look. Here be dragons, here be the kraken. With a team that is not experienced or putting together a vision wisely, you have pitfalls ahead. And those can pertain to a few things. One could be more content management woes if they're not building in a way that's modular and intuitive. Growing pains if they're not thinking in terms of scalability, future-proofing, and even becalming. Dead in the water in terms of SEO. If you're leaking Google Juice and don't know why or how to fix it, you're in trouble. So that brings us to experience and vision in finding a positive way forward. Allow us to lead you in a bright, sunny, clear sailing direction. And these guiding principles will be leading us forward. In terms of freedom, that can pertain to just the ease of content creation. So Donna's not having to spend much time building something in WordPress. It's very smooth, streamlined, and intuitive. And not needing to rely on others to create a new template or custom stuff. As far as the appeal, that aspect is the user experience where it's like a conversation with your users for all personas. An emphasis on SEO and growth and just improvement to the information architecture. So, you've got that content buried treasure, you're unearthing that and you're delivering that richness of content at the right time, the right place, in a way that makes sense. As far as expansion, that you're set up in a way where you're expanding in different directions that you do anticipate and the ones that you don't anticipate yet. So that pertains to the Spanish content as one example and beyond. And just generally future-proofing as we can. So things are really modular and we can add and subtract as we need in a really agile and light way. Things are very flexible. We're able to shift and adjust, and that they're scalable so that as things grow, the site is ready for it. So let's lead our way on to just getting to know each other, our teams and our direction, getting a better sense for that. Here's our team. And we've done some introductions, and I'm Curtis, of course. and I'm leading the team, and Jelly, project manager, she'll play a huge part in the day-to-day as far as managing the roadmap that we'll be taking a look at and helping everyone coordinate on messages and tasks. And Ashley can play a big part in the content strategy and may play a part in the voice and tone guide. Irene is likely to play a big part in the user experience workshops. Chris is a superstar developer, and he is exceptional as far as strategy with content, the inner workings of the content and development in order to get, for example, the categories, tags, and taxonomy in a place that is deeply sophisticated at the development level so that it is extraordinarily intuitive for day-to-day use. And Jessa is an extraordinary developer who's been with us for years and will play a big part in that, especially around user experience stuff, while Joe plays a big part in regular development and considerations as far as the deployment workflow and that sort of stuff. And Claire is wonderful at keeping everything running smoothly. Whatever research needs to be done or resources need to be gathered and delivered, she is really helpful in the day-to-day. And moving on, we're coordinating nicely with some of our BFFs at Whole Whale, and we won't presume about who's involved in particular, but we know and love Whole Whale so much, have done projects with George and the gang for years, and we're big fans of their mindset and methodology and approach to strategy, and also subscribe to a lot of the same mindset. So we really speak the same language. Our hearts and our minds are aligned. And we've got LCF. We've had a delight speaking so far with Donna and Cindy. We're excited to be connecting with Jim as well, and the LCF team in general. And it is, like I said, an honor, a privilege, and a delight to be exploring ways to help you. Something that we're really passionate about. And let's jump in together for some smooth sailing ahead. So the outline of the project boils down to two main parts. You've got the one-time build of the website. Established scope, cut and dry, plain and simple. Alongside that, you've got the other part, the ongoing plan. Continual stuff happening monthly, and that is something that we'll look at more closely in its two parts. The ongoing roadmap is something that should look pretty familiar to Donna. It's got that Kanban board of things we're working on now, things that we're working on next, and those are all tasks that pertain to various things beyond the scope of the project, and that can apply to the workshops that we might do, as well as tasks that lead to additional features. That's a good explanation overall, and that is one part. The other part is our sessions. Our video sessions, by default, will be a matter of going over the roadmap and getting inventory of things and adding, adjusting as we like. And beyond that, we can include workshop stuff, the items from discovery. So our sessions can get involved in those things. And with those two things together, those are the parts of the ongoing plan. So that's the lay of the land there. The plan tiers, just to recap, we've got these 4 tiers. And basically, with the minimal plan, we'll just handle occasional requests, and those are kept to a minimum. And really, in practice, we make a mindset of just getting stuff done. So we're pretty generous and just trying to get things accomplished and are not really counting these tickets too closely. But beyond that, the other tiers are unlimited, and it's just a matter of how much we're working on at a time, how much we're doing in terms of volume on a regular, constant basis. And then with that top tier, it's got this added feature of doing reviews not monthly, but weekly. So every single week we can have a great session. Let's take a look at that in practice. For instance, a vision of that as an example, cruising forward. Ta-da! Here we are. It's week 1, and we're taking a look at this Kanban board, our roadmap. And we've already got some things done. We are having the workshop right here on the session, and we already completed a little item that looked like an easy opportunity, low-hanging fruit. We've taken a look at some of the demands of the project, and the style guide is included in the scope of the one-time build, and then some bonuses beyond that we just decide to throw in because they're right there, and we've put them in the roadmap. You give the thumbs up, and we make them extra awesome so that it's so much easier for the team to collaborate on and use. And there are additional items that we've added to the bottom of these two as a result of having the session. So, for example, we decide, we absolutely do want this advanced glossary tooltip that Donna had mentioned. We certainly want to include that, we've decided, imagine. And the accolade system that you've come up with looks really handy. So the way that we've got some testimonials and stuff, those could get really organized into awards, testimonials, praise, and even videos of things all in great inventory and organized. The way you've described that sounds wonderful. Let's do it. And without getting into the weeds of what specifically goes on here, that's a good example of the sort of stuff that can come up and how. Meanwhile, we've got our session. In addition to going over the roadmap, we've decided, hey, we want to have this workshop, stakeholder interviews group session. And the things that come up when we're talking together, the complementing goals and methods, a lot of insights can happen. So we've got our structure to the interview, and in so doing, we put together something really wonderful and have these insights. And that is week 1. What have we accomplished? We completed a couple roadmap items, the workshop itself, and a great added feature beyond the established style guide that's within scope. We added bonuses on top of that and got those accomplished. We added a couple new roadmap items. We decided some things that we wanted to add as tasks to the roadmap and got those in there. And some site insights. So for the website, we have determined certain things from discovery that define the direction of things. For example, specific design elements that are keepers, stuff that you definitely want to have for the site. As we're talking in any of this, we're getting inventory, it's deciding stuff. It is not adding a single thing to the scope of the one-time build. It is simply deciding the flavor, the direction. The information architecture structure, we figure out some stuff about that. The buried treasure content is identified, which of those hidden gems we really want to do something with. So that's an example of week 1, and with that said, should be kind of a steady clip with future weeks. We accomplish a couple things right off the bat. We've got the workshop and the item from last week. In practice, there'll be a lot more going on. For sake of discussion, we're keeping it simple here. For our actual video session, we want to have this workshop of the user persona composition and getting those fully fleshed out together in the workshop format, where it's not simply teaching or dictating at you. We're providing a structure for your input and shaping things based on your intuition, your data, and things we're discovering, and collaborating on that together. And that's week 2. We've completed a couple items. In this case, new roadmap items, we haven't added one. Not necessarily the case that we always do. And site insights, maybe we identify those content clusters that Donna mentioned. Those pillars are identified, and the content that connects with them. Week 3, we accomplish completion of that accolade system. That, imagine that was agreeable and that's something that you really wanted, we got it done for you. The workshop is what's going on this week, and we've added an additional item where you've decided that it is agreeable and desirable to have an internal team dashboard the details of which we've all worked out, and it looks awesome. The session this week is for user journeys. We get into composition of not just who those personas, what those personas are like, but they're making sure that their journey is ideal and how. And that's week 3. We've gotten those items completed. We added a new roadmap item. We got a few insights about the flavor and direction of how the site is getting made, all within scope. Those insights are within scope of the one-time build. And finally, for the month, we've got week 4. We complete the workshop and the internal team dashboard. We've added a deep dive, and this is the peer site analysis hands-on session. We get into some of these sites that are on your radar and some that may deserve to be on your radar, and get into those and complete some items, add a new roadmap item, some site insights, and that is month 1. It's a great example of at that highest tier where we're having weekly sessions. We get a lot accomplished in the domain of the discovery while doing development alongside the one-time site build that we're working on meanwhile at the same time. And month 2, you imagine similar things. We've got that tier and we've got sessions each week of the month, and this can certainly pertain to other things in discovery that we've outlined. The requirements list and putting together a full report on that, workshop around it, for example, the voice and tone guide and workshop around composing that. Sometimes, by default, the session will be a plain old roadmap review that will go over all the items in the roadmap and progress, what we've accomplished, what's coming up next, and add, adjust, shift as desired. And maybe week 8, we do a deep dive on a discovery topic and get more in depth in a way that is meaningful and valuable. So, as you can imagine, that's a great example of progressing with that highest tier plan, and it might be at that point that you'd like to downgrade, and we have a single session for that month, and proceed from there. And so you see a good sense for the rhythm of things and how these parts fit together. And with that, onward, we've got this visualization of the various sessions and the various tasks that are getting completed in the roadmap that are beyond the scope of the site. We're getting great additional features completed and complementing stuff done, and sessions that are meaningful and insightful, and great stuff that way. And you can see the lay of the course that we're plotting, and here is a great depiction of our path forward to an amazing site, and we're very excited about this in general, and working together with you on this is something that we're looking forward to. The smooth sailing and completion of that one-time build of the site for the site redesign and all the parts that can support it. We really appreciate you, so thank you very much, and we're very excited to partner with you. Hope that you've appreciated as well the fun approach that we've taken, and that it's been clarifying as well as bringing a smile. We absolutely intend to bring a lot of sophistication and apt and appropriate expertise to the table, along with a bit of fun as we're discussing. So thanks so much, guys. Hope this has been clear and insightful, and hope for the privilege of partnering with you in the site redesign.